Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mida J and I'm a YouTuber who resides in the UK. I create content about lifestyle vlog travels, relocation, relationships and every nice beautiful things. If you want to be part of this, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Just click that subscribe button, it's totally free. Don't forget the bell icon symbol beside your screen. Just tap on it. YouTube can notify you whenever I post a new video. In today's video, I'm getting straight to business. If you are a student in the UK, that is you are on a tier 4 visa and you're wondering what is the next thing for you to do to be able to be a resident either temporarily or permanently in the UK. If you are an aspiring student who would love to study in the UK and you're wondering after your studies what is the next step, then this video is for you. Just keep watching. In this video, I'll be talking about the necessary steps or pathways that you can take to become a resident in the UK over a period of time legally. Oftentimes, after studies, many students wonder what's the next thing to do, what am I supposed to do at this point in time, and I wish I aspire to still reside in the UK. Or I even aspire to get my indefinite leave to remain in the UK and not be an overstayer. Recently, I realized that people coming to study in the UK are now more than the people coming to work in the UK. We all know that the UK is now opening their doors to many people from all walks of life, from all countries, African countries, India, Asian countries, to come and study in the UK. Compared to the tier 2 visa on the other hand, don't get me wrong, people are still coming through the tier 2 visa, but then the tier 4 visa is now on the high rise. So in case I've been saying many jargons, the tier 4 visa is known as the student visa. It's given to international students, or let's say non-British nationals, to come to the UK to study in an authorized college or university over a speculated period of time. And you either come to work to study as an undergraduate, that's the bachelor's degree, or at the master's level. Some people even come to do their PhD. And usually for tier 4 visa, the institution acts as a sponsor. They just give you the CAS, that's like your admission letter, you know, and that's what you take to the embassy, and you with your proof of funds and your admissions and all the likes to get your visa. Okay, that's what a tier 4 visa is about. And when you finish, you need something to make you have a stay in the UK and on the long run attain your indefinite leave to remain in the UK. Oftentimes people believe that the tier 2 visa is the easiest way. In this video, I'm not about to dispute that. Switching from the tier 4, that's the student visa, to the work visa, which is the tier 2, is the easiest route you can go. But then many people don't actually realize that there are many ways that you can actually get your stay here in the UK other than the tier 2 visa. Well, some might not be feasible for some individuals in certain circumstances, but then there are many other ways that you can actually get your stay. The number one is to attain a tier 1 visa. And then before I talk about the tier 1 visa, many people ask, like most of the most frequently asked questions that I see online is what happens if my tier 4 visa expires? You don't want to be an overstayer in the UK because this makes you very illegal and it might be very difficult to get yourself back on track. So what do? By the time you see that you are completing your course, it depends on the longevity of the course that you're offering in the UK. Some people are here for a year, for 2 years. Before that expires, you ensure that you already set your foot on the track that you want to tread. That is shining your eyes, seeing opportunities on what you want to do. What I'm trying to say is that crucially, you shouldn't allow your tier 4 visa, that's your student visa, to expire before switching to a different visa. Therefore, before your tier 4 visa expires, you must reach out to the Home Office to get an extension of your visa. If you know that you don't want to switch to a different visa, if you still want to remain, I've heard people say, oh, they don't want to switch to tier 2, they want to extend their visa. So what do? You either go for a postgraduate study, okay, and this might take like a year or 2, and you have to start paying school fees again. And when you're done with that, you know what next to do. Maybe within or prior to that expiring, you know what next to do. Meanwhile, you can actually get a doctorate extension scheme, and this allows international students who have acquired their education to a doctorate level or PhD to gain more experience in whatever field that they've chosen in the UK. Like I said, we have the Tier 1 visa. So the first type I'll be talking about is the Tier 1 innovator visa. As the word implies, innovator, this kind of visa is usually for business people. I mean business minded people. And for this visa, you have to have about £50,000 in your account to run a business, and your business proposal has to be endorsed by an endorsing body. So you just can't come up with a business plan and be like, oh, this is it. It has to be strictly endorsed by a reputable institution or organization. When you have your business proposal is endorsed by the endorsing body, you can take it to the Home Office and every other supporting documents, and they'll file you this visa. Don't forget, you have to have £50,000 in your account, okay? And then when you attain this visa, it allows you to stay in the UK for up to 3 years. Yes, it offers 3 years of residency, and after which, when these 3 years is almost running out, you can apply for an extension. After just 3 years, you get your indefinite leave to remain. How amazing is that? But never forget that you have to have £50,000 in your account. To know more about this, you can visit the UK website, that's www.gov.uk, to learn more. Apart from the Tier 1 innovator visa, which is more like the business kind of visa, we have another type of Tier 1 visa, which is known as the Tier 1 investor visa. As the name implies, investor, you have to make investor moves, and this signifies that you have to pump a huge significant of money into the UK economy. Looking at it, according to research, you have to pump about £2 million into the economy, and with this £2 million, you can attain an indefinite leave to remain in the UK after 5 years. And if you pump about 5 million, or if you invest £5 million into the UK economy, you can get an indefinite leave to remain within 3 years. And then to say you were so boxed up, you want to pump a lot of money after your Tier 4, you want to switch to a Tier 1, okay, you have to have about £10 million. And with this, you can get your ILR, that's your indefinite leave to remain, within just 2 years in the UK. 2 to 3 years to say. How amazing is this? But don't forget, you have to invest. You have to make investor moves. Next, I'll be talking about the fact that for some of us who are on the Tier 4 visa, that's a student visa, and we've lived there for 1 to 2 years during our undergraduate or postgraduate studies, and you've fallen in love with somebody who is a British citizen or who is a settled person in the United Kingdom, you can as well apply for a type of visa known as the unmarried partner, the civil or the spouse kind of visa. It just means that you're married to someone who is a UK resident or who is a UK citizen, and you want to live with them permanently in the UK. Never to forget that this type of visa, you have to provide enough supporting evidence and documents to show or signify that you've been living with this person for more than 2 years. This includes photographs, wedding certificates, and so many backup plans just to prove to the Home Office that you are eligible for this kind of visa. And when you are accepted by the Home Office with this visa, you can now further apply for an indefinite leave to remain in the UK, and after which you can also become a British citizen or a settled person by yourself in the UK. I'm not saying that you should go and fall in love with somebody that you're not supposed to fall in love with, but then if you know that you are dating somebody or you're married to somebody, you've been living with somebody, and you are romantic or you are in love, you are actually bona fide and eligible to apply for the unmarried partner, the civil or the spouse visa in the UK. Under this kind of visa, it doesn't have to be someone who is just a UK national or who is a UK citizen, if you get what I mean. It can be someone who has a Tier 2 visa, because when someone has Tier 2 visa, their dependents will also have a Tier 2 visa. Okay, so whatever the person carries is what the partner will carry. Under this process, I've seen a lot of people do this, but some people have to finish their Tier 4 and they go back to Nigeria or wherever they're coming from to arrange their documents, do their weddings, and if that works for you, just do it. But if you're someone that you've already done your legal wedding, all you need is your marriage certificate and all the supporting documents. Read more about this and know what works for you. Moving forward, I would like to talk about the Tier 2 visa. So this is no news already. Many people know this, that you can actually switch from a Tier 4 visa to the Tier 2 skilled worker visa. So since Brexit and the start of the new point-based system, so many UK employers are actually on the search. When I mean search, significant search for skilled people and very brilliant talents across the world. Many people have actually relocated to work in the UK from 2020, let's say 2019, to this moment. The rise of people that are coming in, it's so on the high side. There is a significant rise. Many people are coming to work as doctors, as nurses, as care workers, and we all know of the healthcare assistant route. Many people have come in through this route, and many people are actually switching from their tier 2 to their tier 4 to their tier 2, especially in this period. So as someone who holds a tier 4 visa, what do you have to do? You have to get a sponsor. It's very important. Without a sponsor or a licensed sponsor that would offer you a certificate of sponsorship, you might not be able to get a job or to stay in the UK after your studies. And then because this system, this tier 2 skilled worker visa, is point graded or is point based, you have to meet a minimum of 70 points. That's the requirement. And about a large chunk of this 70 points comes from the certificate of sponsorship that will be offered to you by a licensed sponsor. What a certificate of sponsorship fully covers is your own details and that of the sponsor. It just shows that, oh, we are offering this person a job to work with us, we are sponsoring him or her, and we're going to be paying him a particular amount of money at the end of the month. So that means that your salary scale will be on that certificate of sponsorship. And when the Home Office sees this, alongside with some other supporting documents, some will tell you to do a IELTS, that's the English proficiency test. But if you are someone who has completed your degree or your master's in the UK, you might not need to do an IELTS. Yes, you heard me right. What's the essence of going to school or schooling in the UK for a year or two, and in English language, of course, you studied in English, and I can't use that to show that I am English proficient. Sometimes they require DBS, they require DBS, like the police clearance from the UK, to show that you don't have any criminal investigation going on with you, or you don't have any criminal offense in the UK. In addition, the employer needs to tick the maintenance column. That means that you don't need to provide a proof of funds for yourself. If it's not ticked, you have to have about £945 in your account as a student changing from tier 4 to tier 2. But if the maintenance is ticked, meaning that you don't need to provide anything. And then if you have a dependent back in your own country, like in Nigeria, you can as well bring them, and this COS is going to cover them. So they don't need to provide any proof of funds or whatever. You just need to pay for your flight ticket, apply for their visa, provide everything. And when I mean dependent, that's your spouse or your children. You can't bring your mother or your father. This visa doesn't cover them. So when you provide all these things to the Home Office, don't forget your COS, which is the most important thing. The Home Office, when they deem you fit to get a tier 2, they offer you a tier 2, and you start working with an employer under the skilled worker visa. So you switch from your tier 4 to your tier 2. And then you ask me, what are the jobs that you can do under the skilled worker visa? Except if you're someone who studied nursing, or you did medicine, or you did physiotherapy, or all of those jobs in the medical field, it's easy for you to get jobs because, so to speak, these are like lucrative jobs, okay? But if you studied something outside this field, let's say you study accounting, you study whatever, you can try. Never say never. And the fact is, we all know, if you're a student watching this video and you've done your research properly, you know that a carer job is the most available thing. I can't emphasize this enough. It's the most available thing that you can do in the UK at the moment, as somebody who is switching from tier 4 to tier 2. I've mentioned the tier 1 visa, the investor one, the innovator one. I've mentioned the dependent visa, or the marriage or married partner spouse visa. Then this tier 2 is the next one, and the most available job that most people get is to be a carer, a domiciliary, a support worker, or an healthcare assistant with the NHS or any care home. Many people don't want to do this. I've heard people telling me that, oh, what if I get a job? Can I not do the job? Can I just be paying them off, like tipping them off, and just remain in the UK and do some other things? I'm sorry to tell you that it's not possible. The UK is not Nigeria where you will just tip someone off. You have to get a job, you have to get to work. So if you know that you are not mentally, this topic is a topic for another day. If you know you are not mentally stable to work in the UK as a carer, see, there are so many things involved. You will carry human excreta, you will carry urine, you will carry vomitors, you will carry saliva, you will carry body, you will see body fluid, you will see bloods. So this job is not for everybody, and in fact that we know that makes sense. The earlier you know that, the earlier the better for you. So if you know you don't want to do the carer job, you are not ready for the mental and emotional drainage, physical drainage, you will be on your feet all times, you're working so mad, the work is crazy. Let me just put it to you that way. But if you know you are ready for it, not to scare you, I am doing it, I'm a nurse, many people are doing it and we're surviving, we're not dead yet. So if you don't belong to the medical sector, you can actually get a job in other sectors. It might be a bit tough, but it's not impossible. And then you have to get a job with someone who is licensed to offer you a COS. These days, I see if you do your research properly, you don't have to go to the school, like to have a formal education, to actually be an IT person. Okay, there are many courses that you can do, like 3 to 6 month courses, intern courses that will enable you to become a business analyst, like to be a project manager and the likes. You know, there are other cyber security courses that you can just do. You don't have to have a formal education, you just need to have the knowledge, and of course they might give you some projects to work on. You can do internships just to acquire more experience, and then you get a job. And if they deem you fit, they can get you a certificate of sponsorship. This is another way that you can use to retain your stay in the United Kingdom. To ensure that you remain in the UK after your international student visa, that is often referred to the Tier 4 visa, you can either elongate your study visa, that is go on a doctorate extension scheme, or do an internship, or do a postgraduate study, or you switch to a different visa entirely. You can be under the Tier 1 visa, either the innovator one or the investor visa, or you switch to dependent visa via marriage or civil partnership or spouse, or you know, and all the likes, or you be a dependent to somebody who carries a Tier 2 visa. Finally, you can switch to the Tier 2, which is a skilled worker visa, and it has to be a job under the occupation shortage list. Usually you can be a carer, a nurse, a support worker, domiciliary, or whatever, or you can actually be an IT person, which I said is a bit tough to get these days, but it's not impossible, because the carer job is not for everybody. So lastly, I would just like to say, if you like this video, please kindly give it a big thumbs up, share to somebody. Personally, I know people that need this video, and I'm going to share and forward it to them. Please kindly do the same, and comment and all of that good stuff. Ultimately, subscribe to my channel, click that subscribe button, don't forget the notification bell, that's the bell like symbol beside your screen, so YouTube can notify you whenever I post a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Until then, you know how we do it. Peace and light always.